Welcome to On Spot, where we keep you up to date with the latest news, starting with the headlines. A Copt killed in the church attacked in Alexandria. 4 bombs target Orthodox Church and other areas in Benghazi. Pope Francis I accepts invitation of Pope Tawadros to visit Egypt. Dozens injured in head-on train crash in Connecticut. Starting from Egypt, a Copt from the Khila west of Alexandria has been died from wounds resulting from bird shot late on Friday. A quarrel broke out between a Christian and Muslim that motivated a group of criminals and bearded men carrying firearms and Molotov cocktails together in front of Virgin Mary Church in the Khila. They threw Molotov cocktails at the church in an attempt to burn the building, injuring many Copts. Central security vehicles were dispatched to the street where the church is located, and security forces fired tear gas to disperse the crowd surrounding the church. A resident in the region said that the Copts of the Khila are now trapped in their homes because they are afraid of being attacked by Molotov cocktails and bird shot. 40 days after the aggressions that targeted Copts in Khusus and St. Mark's Cathedral, the real criminals and inciters have not yet questioned, and the repercussions of the incidents have not been disclosed. His Holiness Pope Tawadros II stressed that he is still awaiting the results of the investigations and the punishment of those involved in the attacks that targeted the cathedral, which crossed a red line. Pope Tawadros II stressed the need for applying justice equally to increase confidence between the government and the people. Libyan media reports said unknown people in the Libyan city of Benghazi carried out 4 attacks on Saturday. The bomb has caused simple damages in the entrance of the church. The car parked near the church was damaged, and it didn't lead to any loss of lives. It's worth mentioning that a services building related to Benghazi's Coptic church was bombed in December, while St. Mark's Church was attacked by unknown people in March, and the criminals are not known till now by security forces in Libya. Cardinal Copt, president of the Pontifical Council for Promoting Christian Unity, said His Holiness Pope Francis I has accepted the invitation made by His Holiness Pope Tawadros II to visit Egypt. He added that the date of the visit has not yet been determined. And from the Coptic Orthodox Church's side, His Grace Bishop Rafah, Secretary of the Holy Synod of the Coptic Church, expressed his joyful feelings because His Holiness Pope Tawadros II's visit to the Vatican, which is an indicator that the Coptic Church is willing to open up to the rest of the world's churches without compromising the faith. The bishop also expressed his wish that the day will come when all churches will unite and all boundaries be removed. More than 60 people were injured, at least 2 critically, after a head-on rush hour collision between 2 commuter trains near New York City. Hundreds of people were on the trains involved in Friday evening's crash just outside Bridgeport, Connecticut. Officials said the train that left New York City's Grand Central en route to New Haven, Connecticut, derailed, then was hit by another train. Amtrak has also suspended its service between New York and Boston. Officials say up to 60 people were hurt when a car hit a crowd during a parade in the U.S. state of Virginia. They say more than 10 people have been taken to hospital in a serious condition from the small town of Damascus. The crash happened at about 14:30 local time during an annual festival celebrating the Appalachian Trial. U.S. media reports suggest the driver may have had a medical condition. The car appeared to come from a side street, hitting the crowds, according to the Associated Press news agency. People were screaming for the driver to stop, but the vehicle reportedly went on for another 30 meters after hitting the crowd. Witnesses said a number of people then rushed to the car and eventually managed to lift off those trapped underneath. The mayor of the Canadian city of Toronto, Rob Ford, has denied allegations that he has been caught on video smoking crack cocaine. The Toronto Star said that the 2 of its reporters were shown the video clip reportedly filmed on a smartphone by someone trying to sell it to the paper. The newspaper says that it cannot verify the video's authenticity. Mr. Ford called the allegations ridiculous when he emerged from his house on Friday. Later, outside his office, Mr. Ford refused to take questions, but in brief comments said that it was another story with respect to the Toronto Star going after him. Going to the Middle East, as Syrian state TV says the Syrian government forces have surrounded the rebel stronghold of Qusayr and are storming it from several directions. Fighting has gone on around the town near the Lebanese border for weeks. Opposition groups say militants from the Lebanese Hezbollah movement are fighting alongside government forces. Correspondents say Qusayr has a strategic value for both sides. If the government retakes it, it would ensure access from the capital to the coast. Russia, a key ally of Syria's President Bashar al-Assad, has a small naval maintenance facility at the Syrian deepwater port of Tartus. Egyptian police have sealed off the Rafah border crossing with the Gaza Strip in the protest at the abduction of 7 security personnel in Sinai. Reports say police locked the gates and placed barbed wire at the entrance. The 3 policemen and 4 soldiers were captured while traveling in the peninsula east of El Arish. The 4 men worked at the Rafah crossing, as reports said. Rafah is the only regular exit from Gaza for 1.6 million Palestinians living there. Other crossings into Israel are allowed only in exceptional cases. An Egyptian security official say that the Rafah cross will remain closed until the group is released. A Saudi woman has made history by reaching the summit of the world's highest mountain. Raha Muharak, 25, not only became the first Saudi woman to attempt the climb, but also the youngest Arab to make it to the top of the Everest. She is part of the 4-person expedition that also includes the first Qatari man and the first Palestinian man attempting to reach the summit. They are trying to raise $1 million for education projects in Nepal. Originally from Jeddah, Mrs. Muharak is a university graduate currently based in Dubai. Her climb team said that coming from Saudi Arabia, a conservative Muslim country where women's rights are very restricted, she had to break a lot of barriers to achieve her goal. The World Health Organization's annual statistics show progress is being made around the world, is cutting child mortality, but it will miss its target of a 2/3 reduction by 2015. The data shows the number of under-5s dying fell from 12 million in 1990 to less than 7 million in 2011. But that will not be enough to reach the 2015 Millennium Development Goal. The World Health Organization says that the health gap between countries is narrowing, but there are continuing inequalities in healthcare. Also, it says that many people in low and middle income countries have insufficient access to medicines in the public sector, meaning they rely on the private sector where prices can be up to 16 times higher. Finally, with the latest health studies, Oxford University researchers say that applying high-frequency electrical noise to the brain can boost math skills up to 6 months later. A small study in current biology suggests that brain stimulation technique makes neurons function more efficiently. It could help those suffering with neurodegenerative illness, stroke, or learning difficulties. An expert said the technique could have real applied impact. Transcranial random noise stimulation involves applying random electrical noise to targeted areas of the brain by placing electrodes on the surface of the scalp. It is a relatively new method of brain stimulation, which is painless and non-invasive. That's all for today. Wish for all of you the best. Stay tuned and see you next week.